Good evening. Welcome. Welcome to Friday night, everybody. How's it going? Oh, I'm trying something out tonight. A little different. A little bit different. Some weird background stuff. Actually, I need to put some light on. Hold on. Let's do this. There we go. A little bit of red lighting. A little bit of mood lighting in here. All right. I've got Tron on the brain today. I saw Tron Ares, and it's got a red theme. Red and black, I would say. Hello to Stray Kids fan. How's it going? And earlier today, I purchased a copy of the soundtrack, and no, I'm not being paid by Disney or anybody else to be showing you, backwards on my screen. It looks like it says Nort, but it says Tron, I promise. Amazing soundtrack. I'm not playing that soundtrack in the background because of copyright reasons, but I am playing the music from Tron Uprising, which was an animated series, kind of a short-lived animated series, and I don't think YouTube recognizes the music from it, so I am playing that in the background. But so much to talk about tonight. I'm really excited that you guys are here. First of all, I'm trying something out. I've got dual streaming, vertical and horizontal, so we'll see how that goes. Not a paid partnership with Disney, says Samantha. Yes, and thank you for being here, Sam. I appreciate that. You are one of my my channel members, and so if you guys are not familiar with channel memberships, it's a pretty inexpensive way that you can support this channel and get some bonus perks as well. It's only 99 cents for a month, so see if you like it. Anyway, so I'm so glad you guys are here. I think by doing this vertical live stream and my horizontal live stream, I think I might reach more people, which is a pretty exciting thing. And some of you are here because of my candy lives, and some of you are here because you're here every Friday, which I greatly appreciate. Today was a pretty awesome day because after 2.5 weeks, I finally finished animating scene 50. And that was just a monumental achievement for me. It was one of the more intense acting scenes of the cartoon, and it was 90 drawings, 90 paper drawings. I got to pull off of my wall storyboard page number 20. I got to pull that down, which means I only have 4 pages left on my wall. Of the original 24 pages, I'm down to 4, which is really, really exciting. For me, it's exciting. Hopefully, it's somewhat interesting for you. Samantha says, or Sam says, I like the little springy background on the side of the screen. Thank you. It's sort of kind of Tron-esque. It's as close to Tron as I could get, really because of the grid underneath the springs. But it kind of reminded me of Tron, classic Tron. And I thought, since I have Tron on the brain, I might as well make my background reflect that, at least for tonight. It's a little weird looking, but I just wanted to try something. So, yeah. Okay, so 90 drawings down. It added 9 seconds to the overall runtime, which is really exciting because I now have a full 5 minutes of animation completed. I think I'm probably less than 6 months, we'll see, away from finishing all the pencil animation of the original 24 pages of storyboards. But we'll see. I don't know for sure. I'm just trying to speculate a little bit. And I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it, Sam. And the red light in the background. Yeah, I just wanted to try some red lighting because of Tron. The whole vibe is great tonight. Thank you so much. I was trying to mix it up a little bit. Got my red shirt on to go with that. I got my Tron Ares soundtrack here with me. I'm not playing it, but I did listen to it today, and it's great. Mr. Tibu says, I'm late. I like your backgrounds. No, you're not that late. I've only been on for 5 minutes. And those of you who are coming in here who are like, who the heck is this guy and what is he talking about? Hi, everybody. My name is Phil. I am an independent animator, and every Friday night I do these live draws where I kind of update everybody on my progress on this 7-minute animated short that I'm making. I started animating it in May of 23, but I started post or pre-production earlier than that, like as early as late 2020. And the cartoon is based on my comic strips, which started in 2008. So it's like it's all been building and culminating to this animated short. And so every Friday for an hour, I talk a little bit about what I'm doing, what my process is, and then I turn my camera this way and do some drawing. Now, normally I like to prepare myself by having some drawing stuff ready to go that I want to work on. But I finished scene 50 today, and so I don't have anything prepared. So what I will probably end up doing in a little bit is I will probably start the next scene or just start planning it a little bit. I don't know that I'll jump too far into it. Stray Kid says, I am working on getting a job at the Philly Pretzel Factory that's in Edwardsville near me. Oh, that's cool. Do you know where Edinburgh is? Is that too far from you? And then there was a college when I went to college. When I was picking colleges, I had two. I like whittled it down to two schools, and one of them was in Ohio, and one was in Pennsylvania. And the one that was in Pennsylvania was called Mercyhurst, and it was a really pretty school, but it was also pretty like quiet. And I remember being on campus and like I got like a not really like a vision, but I sort of could imagine myself. And I imagined myself in this quiet school that was tucked away in the woods in the cold winter with snow everywhere. And something about it felt like really isolating, and I did not get a good vibe from it. I felt like if I go to this school, I'm going to become a very quiet, reserved person. I don't know that that would have happened, but that's where my brain went. But then I visited the school in Ohio, and I remember walking on that campus, and I got this like other vision where everything just felt like exciting and energetic, and there was all this stuff happening. And it was right when I had that sort of like flash of what could be in the future. That's when I remember turning to my mom and saying, this is where I want to go to school. So whenever I think of Pennsylvania, I kind of think about that part of my life. Hey, Halo, AC Stare, how's it going? Stray Kid says, no, it's probably as far from me. Okay, probably. Mr. T-Boo says, why is this live straight and not wide? I don't know if you understand me. It's both. I'm actually doing a simulcast. It's sending it both ways, and I guess you must have picked the one that was vertical, but I chose to do both. I don't know how that works. This is my first time trying it, so I'm sorry for the confusion if it's not working, guys. But there, I'm just messing with I'm messing with the format. I'm trying things out. I love to run. Random Edits says hi. How's it going? Welcome to the channel. And I also appreciate the thumbs up from Amanda over on Facebook. Thank you for that. Yep, I'm simulcasting 2 different ways tonight on YouTube and then on 2 different pages on Facebook. So this is almost like a 4-way simulcast tonight. Kind of interesting. Yes, you're welcome, Mr. Tebow. I try to answer everybody's questions. I try to if you guys are new to my channel, I try to engage with you guys as much as I can. I think it makes it more fun. I don't understand why people would ignore the comment section. It doesn't really make any sense to me. So anyway, so I've got page 21 now on my focus point on my board, and I was looking at it and thinking like, oh, I don't know that the way I did that. I don't know that I like the way that I did it. Not every single scene, but there's a couple scenes where I feel like, oh, I zoomed in and I shouldn't have zoomed in. So I'm sort of trying to figure out how I want to make some adjustments, which means there's a chance I will be merging some scenes that are currently on these boards and maybe I'll have less scenes to do. I don't know, but that's been sort of happening throughout this process. Is every now and then I'll look at something and think, that no longer seems like a good way to do this. So it's been a really interesting process, from script to storyboard, and then as I go through each scene, kind of asking myself, do I like this? Do I want to change it? Do I want to, whatever. And so it's been interesting. I am animating it numerically in order, and I know that that's not necessarily the way that other people animate. Some people will skip around, and I have a really good buddy of mine who's an animator, and I know he will skip around. And so whenever he and I talk about our different ways of doing things, we always, like, that's one of the things we talk about, is like that I chose to do it in order. But I'm really glad I did, because it sort of helps me to it helps me with continuity, I feel like, because when I finish a scene and I start the next one, in my head I'm like, okay, I just came off of this. What would really feel good as a flow from the previous thing into this new thing? So I feel like it's helped me focus on what flows best from one scene into the next scene. Let's see here. Stray Kid says, I got to go to Ohio because we had a family funeral there in 23. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Ohio is where I'm from. So, I don't know what to say about that other than I'm no longer there. But that's where I grew up. That's where I went to college. And then I moved to Texas. So now I'm in Texas. Okay. All right. Well, let me see. What else did I want to talk with you guys about? Okay. So, with the completion of scene 50, I'm now over 5 minutes of animation, which officially, I already knew it was going to be more than 5 minutes, but now that I'm like officially there, New Ad Day is now the longest cartoon I've ever made at 5 minutes, because everything I've done before that was somewhere between like 2 and 4 minutes, or like 4 minutes and 20 seconds or whatever. I've never gotten up to 5 minutes. Now the goal is to get to, well, there isn't really a goal. I would like it if I could get up to 7 minutes, but I don't know for a fact that that's going to happen, and it's okay if it doesn't. That's just kind of where I was like projecting where it would go. If you add all of the opening and closing credits together, currently the whole cartoon is 5.5 minutes. And so then the question is, do I have a minute and a half remaining to animate? I very well could. I've got 4 pages of storyboards on my wall, and that's like give or take 20 more scenes. Yeah, because each page has 6 squares on it, and there's 4, and that's 24. But sometimes there's like 2 squares that make up one scene. Anyway, so there's roughly 20 scenes left, maybe, and then I've got this other section that I want to do that's going to be a like a montage sequence, and I haven't storyboarded that out yet, and I'm saving that for after I finish these 4 pages. So I don't really know how much is left. I'm definitely like on the back half for sure. Thank you, Sam. Okay, thank you for the congrats. Stray Kid says, a lot of kids at my school have been saying how there's and a lot of weird things there, but when I went there for the family funeral, it was beautiful and it was really nice there. Yeah, no, Ohio is really pretty. It's a really pretty place. I don't know. I mean, there's bad stuff everywhere, so I don't really know why kids were saying that. Hey, Levi. Hello. Remember me? I was watching one of your other lives. I do remember you. Thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. This is my regular live. I did buy some new candy today for next week for Halloween. I'm going to do like a Halloween live, opening up different candy and eating that, trying it out with you guys. So I do have another candy live planned for next week because it's going to be Halloween. I mean, that's right. I have to do that because Halloween is a week from tonight. So maybe next Friday, I won't do a live draw. Maybe that will be the candy live. It'll be a candy live on a Friday night instead of a live draw. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I do that, or should I have my Halloween live earlier in the week and then just do a regular live draw on Halloween? I don't know. What do you guys think? I could switch it up. I don't know. We'll see. You're going to try to be there. Thank you very much, Levi. I appreciate that. So what is going on now? So the next scene is scene, obviously, 51. It comes after 50. On the original storyboard, I have the customer's face like super, super close to the camera. And the line that he delivers is, well, what are you going to do about it? And I decided I don't really want him to go really close to camera for that. And here's why. It's not the pinnacle of the scene. It's not the point where the tension gets the highest. I want to save going close to the camera to be when the tension is the highest. So I'm changing how I'm doing that scene. I'm going to have the customer kind of in the same position that he was the last scene that we saw him. And then he's just going to have his arms folded. And then he's going to kind of like, look in a very condescending way over at our main character. And he's going to sort of deliver the line, what are you going to do about it? Like that. And be intimidating that way. Because a few scenes later, when new guy says he can't do anything about it, there's nothing he can do, they don't have any more of the laptop he came looking for, that's when the customer like kind of loses cool and gets up in his face and then decides to do an about face and leave. So I feel like I gotta save the getting in your face thing for that. I don't think having him get close to camera twice makes a lot of sense. So these are the little changes that I was talking about. Hey, Marks, welcome back. Appreciate having you here. I don't have any banners going along the bottom of the screen tonight. I just think there's too much on the screen. I don't want to do all of that. Yeah, okay. Levi says, it's a cat in the box. What's a cat in the box? Oh, you mean the little graphic you put on there. Oh, that's really cute. I didn't know you could. How did you make a cat in the box emoji? That's really cute. Oh, man, I want to do that. Okay. Well, I suppose I'll get started. I wasn't sure if I was going to draw tonight, but I kind of feel like maybe I'll toy around with it a little bit. I'm thinking, since I'm having him start in the same position as he was in the previous scene. Yeah, I see that. That's super cute. Thank you for giving me another one. Here, I'll put it on screen. There you go. It's right there. I'm wondering if I should maybe use the previous scene as a guide for me to do the new one. Let me see if I want to do that. One moment. I'm going to grab a drawing that I already made. I wasn't going to do this, but now I'm sort of thinking about it, and I think it makes sense. Let's see. Those are my do not use drawings. I don't want to use those. Let's see. Yeah, that one right there, that drawing. Okay. So in scene 49 ends with this drawing here. That's where scene 49 ends. But that's kind of where I want scene 51 to pick up from. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this drawing as a like a beginning for this next scene. So I wasn't really planning on doing that, but now I kind of think maybe I should. Let's see here. Oh, why did Oh, right. This was that paper that I was going to save to use later because a little bit of chocolate got onto it, and I tried to wipe it clean, and it ended up making like a bigger mark than the chocolate was. So I don't know that I'm going to use this paper at all. I'll have to save it for something else. I put it over there because I was like, maybe use this paper later on, and now I'm looking at it and I'm going, I don't know if I'm going to do that. Mr. Tibu says, Phil, I will tell you my score in my test. Oh, yes, you did have a test. I do remember you telling me that. I would love to know how you did. It was in history, right? You had a history test. Last I remember you telling us. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. I think I'm just gonna use that drawing as my starting point. A lot of times, like, okay, there's nothing really. Look, there's hello from Nicole over on Facebook. Hello. You know, there's shortcuts in animation. There's things you can do. Sometimes there's things that I feel like they're like cheating, but sometimes things they're not really cheating. They're just like, it's like, oh, this works and it's convenient and it'll make things a little bit easier. Sometimes those things are okay. I don't use those very much. I'm kind of like, I've been described as a glutton for punishment. And I think to some degree I kind of am a glutton for punishment. But I feel like starting scene 51 where scene 49 left off, it's really not that big of a cheat. All it is all the cheating is just I'm kind of tracing the drawing that I already have. But then from there, it's all new stuff. So it just gives me a starting point instead of forcing me to sit here and coming up with a new starting point. So I think I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to turn my camera, and you guys can, of course, always keep chatting, and I'll do my best to look over my shoulder and make sure I'm still talking with y'all. Mr. Tibu says, yeah, I have 74 score. I don't know if this is good or bad. Well, Mr. Tibu, I guess that depends on, is that score out of 100? If that's a 74 out of 75, then that's really good. If it's a 74 out of 100, I think it's more of like a C, I'm guessing. You'll have to, I mean, your teacher should have told you what the grade was. They shouldn't have just said 74 and then left it at that. Did they not give you like a letter grade? They should be giving you a letter grade. I mean, they should. That's how that works. All right, so I'm going to get everything situated here. Oh, it's kind of cool. Like reflects the light from behind me. I'm going to need to put more paper underneath my table at some point because this is the paper that I have sitting under there right now. This is enough for tonight, obviously. I'm not going to get through all that. But I do like to keep a decent stack right here because then I can just kind of pull from it and it's just nice and easy. So I'm going to do that. I already got my pencil sharpened. I'm good with that. I've got my eraser ready to go. I'm good with that. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and do a little bit of a trace because I know I could just use that drawing again and like repeat it. I guess I could do that. I guess I could repeat it. How do I want to do this? Let me see. How do I want to do that? I think what I'm going to do, this is why I try to prepare something before I go live, because starting a new scene ends up being me sitting here listening to music and like imagining the cartoon playing in my head. And so it's not exciting for you guys to watch. And I feel bad. I'm sorry about that. But this is what happens when I start a new scene. It's a lot of me like thinking. You're watching me think. It's 74 out of 100. Yeah, I'm sorry. One of your friends got 25 out of 100. Oh, well, then you did much better than your friend. So good job. It's just like in the zombie movies, right? You don't have to be faster than the zombies. You just got to be faster than the person who's right behind you. It's the same thing. It's not really the same thing in school, honestly. It doesn't really work exactly the same way. But All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trace his body. I'm not going to do his facial expression yet because it's going to give me, that'll buy me some time to sort of think about what I want to do. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome, Mr. Tibu. All right. How's that looking? Whoa, man. Staring into the sun. Oh, man. My goodness. All right. So I'm just going to do like a real quick like line tracing so I can start figuring this. I don't know that I want to use the same drawing from the previous. I guess I could. But I think I would rather. Well, it'll just be the one drawing. I think I'll just probably repeat one. Mark said, that's better than me. I got 71 also in history. Oh, whoa, wow. What's going on in history, gentlemen? Are you guys just not paying attention, or is the subject matter too hard, or what's going on? What's up with these 70s scores? I want you guys to come in here telling me that you got 90 or better. I demand excellence from anybody watching my live draw. I have super high expectations of myself, and therefore I have super high expectations of all of you. That is how this works. Is anybody going as anything for Halloween? Anybody have a costume ready for Halloween? What's everybody going to go as? And what kind of candy are you most hoping to get to bring home? I don't do a lot of tracing, so go a little easy on me tonight. This is not a normal thing where I'm tracing like 95% of the character. All right, I don't need that light on now. So the one thing I did differently was his lips. I decided I am going to start from this pose. Why not, right? I feel like I force myself to invent something brand new every single frickin' scene, and this actually makes sense. It would make sense he would still be in this pose after the last time we saw him. It actually visually makes sense, and it logistically makes sense. So I actually feel like, because it works for the story, it works. I mean, that's always my guiding principle, is like, does it work for the story? Is it interesting? Does it keep things entertaining? And I feel like the previous scene, which you guys haven't really seen animate because I don't show that on here, the previous scene is a lot of moving around. It was a lot of new guy like moving around the space and taking up the space and using his hands and gesturing and all this stuff. And so I kind of think that as a juxtaposition, it works really well that we cut back to the customer and he's still being very like stoic. Excuse me. So I actually think this works. I wasn't sure if this was what I was going to do, but I think it's better than my original plan, because in the previous scene, new guy has just got done explaining himself, and he's very anxious and nervous about the explanation. He's worried that he's going to piss this guy off. And I think it's kind of interesting that when we cut back to him, he hasn't really reacted yet, because it sort of allows the tension to still have time to build, which is really good. Mr. Tibu says, what is the scene of the computer? What is the scene of the computer? I don't know what you're asking me. I need you to ask me that question in a different way so that I can understand. I'm sorry. I wish I knew exactly what you meant the first time, every time. You'll have to forgive me. All right, so that's going to do it for this. Now I am going to go ahead and put my little mark there. And then I actually am going to label this. All right, that's scene 51, and we're going to call that, we'll just call that frame 0. That's where things will start. What I'll do now is I will probably draw the scene that ends, or the picture that ends the scene, so that I know where I want things to go. This is not going to be like a ton of action. He's not going to be doing a lot of like wild hand gestures, a lot of crazy expressions. This is going to be a pretty reserved scene. I still have to match and like all the lip sync stuff, but he's going to be pretty stationary in comparison to the previous scene. Now this scene is only going to be 3 seconds long. Scene 50 was a little bit over 9 seconds long. So, and that took me like a week or 2.5 weeks. This scene should probably take me, a third of the time. So maybe I'll have this done by next Friday. Maybe. It's possible. I don't know. It would be really cool if I could get another 3 seconds in before the end of the month. And I'll tell you why. For the majority of this project, I have been averaging, I think, about 12 seconds of animation, of rough animation, every month. So I've done 9 seconds already for the month of October. If I could get another 3-second scene in there, then I would be still keeping pace. I did take a little bit of a break at the beginning of the month and to work on the poster, the official poster, which is not finished yet, but I just wanted to get it started and then come back to it later. So I did take a little bit of a break. Well, not a break from working on this project, but a break from animating. So anyway, Mr. Tibu says, when the customer wants his computer. Okay. I'm trying to understand what you're asking me. You're saying, what is the scene when the customer wants his computer? Well, I'll try to answer you. If I get it wrong, You just correct me and tell me, okay? In the very, very beginning of the cartoon, this guy comes in and tells our hero character that he points to a picture in the ad. That's why the cartoon is called New Ad Day, or it's part of the reason why. And he points to it and he says, "I want this computer in the ad." The rest of the cartoon, our hero is running around the store trying to find this computer. And when he can't find it, he starts looking for help. He starts going to different employees that have more experience than him, and he tries to get their assistance, only to find out. I guess this is a big spoiler. I'm sorry if I'm spoiling it. Only to find out that computer is no longer in the store. They have the same one, but it's in a different color. So that's the big like oops moment. So, but that happens in like when he first comes in. It's in the very, very, very beginning of the cartoon. I don't even know what scene that is, but it's pretty early on that it happens. Did I answer your question? Let me know if I answered your question. If I didn't answer your question, I do want to do that. So just let me know. All right, what I'm going to try to do now I've already got him drawn, right? And I don't really need this background image this image that helped me to make this one. I don't need this one now. I can put that away because now I have my new one. I have this one. And what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to go ahead and base the end drawing a little bit off of this drawing. You're welcome, Mr. Tibu. You're welcome. I hope I answered your question. All right, so this will be interesting. Let me go ahead and get my crosshairs in there. All right, that's in there now. I don't need that on. Oh, did my music end? Oh no, there's still some music left. Okay, we still got a little bit. Okay. All righty, here we go. See if I can figure out how I want him to end this. See, I only traced the one drawing because I want to use that as a point of starting the scene. But everything after that, I'm not going to be tracing. This is all going to be like the newer stuff. So now I'm just trying to like figure stuff out. I typically start any character drawing. I typically start with a circle for their head. I should do that very lightly in case I want to change it, but that's a thing I have a problem with sometimes. Trying to get his unique looking facial hair. So I'm kind of using the drawing underneath as a bit of like reference, but I'm not tracing over it. I'm just looking at where his features are in that image and then kind of making alterations of, well, if he were to move his head and kind of like cock it to one side, what would that do to his hair, his facial hair? How would that change the angle for that? So I'm sort of trying to do that right now. Let's go turn the music up a little bit. Hey, Banana Man's here. Sorry I couldn't make it from the start. I was at a football game. That's okay. Welcome. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Who won the football game? Was it good? I know, the music's good, right? I'm glad you like it. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to show you guys what I was working on. Pull this back here. All right, what do we got here? Okay. So here's what I was just working on. So I was making the beginning of the scene and I was making the end of the scene. And so if you take these two drawings, actually if you reverse them a little bit and do one of these, that's kind of like how this is going to go. He's not going to be moving around a lot. He's going to say, well, what are you going to do about it? And that's how it ends. So 3 seconds, it's not a lot of major motion, but like I said, he's basically kind of temporarily he's playing, you know, intense but very reserved, which can build tension because we already know that he's a little bit weird. He's a weird character and he's a little unhinged, and he's sort of unpredictable in his anger. We don't really know what he's going to do. So the fact that he's just very confidently keeping his arms folded and looking back at New Guy and being, you know, bossy enough and saying, what are you going to do about it, in a very aggressive way, it's starting to ratchet up the tension again. And so then we can work our way back up to or not back up, but we'll work our way up to the part where he finally gets in the face of New Guy, which will bring him straight into the face of the audience, because I'll have him look right at camera and do all that stuff. So I'm building up to that with this scene. Mark says, question for the chat. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is approaching rapidly, so I might as well ask now. What is the best Halloween prank? Ooh, that's a really good question. Pranks, I think, are fun, but I also think they can be really dangerous when they're not handled the right way. So I don't know what the best Halloween prank would be. I feel like if you wanted to do a prank, these days you don't want to make anybody. Well, not just these days, any days. You don't want to hurt anybody. I don't know. I would say you don't want to do anything that'll like catch fire. Maybe something to do with candy. Again, you don't want to hurt any kids or anything like that. But I think like if there was a way to give like a fake candy, that would be kind of funny. But find a way to make it funny. That'd be kind of interesting. Or maybe not a fake candy, but maybe okay, that's not really a prank, is it? But I was gonna say if you could find a way to like make something creepy looking and give that away, like a bunch of fake fingers, but the fingers are actually like a kind of food that somebody made, finger food. But that would be kind of interesting to come home with like a finger, but it's edible. It's not really a prank. I'm not sure. Take a lot of candy when it says take one. Give a candy blob. Oh, you could always give a candy blob. That's a very good prank. I don't know. What do you think a good prank is, Mark? Have you done any pranks in the past that you are comparing to? What are we talking about? Like a prank on someone's house, which I'm not condoning. We're talking about what kind of a prank? A whoopee cushion? Probably not a whoopee cushion. I'm curious what kind of prank you're thinking about. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think we have enough time to get to it, but maybe bring it up next time and we'll see if we can figure out. Anyway, thanks so much for being here. If you guys haven't already, I would like to encourage you to go over to retailsunshine.com and follow me there. There's like, bonus updates on what I'm working on and behind the scenes stuff that I don't post anywhere else. If you haven't already subscribed to me here on YouTube, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's free and it definitely helps my channel, but it also helps you because if you turn on the notification bell, you will be notified every time I go live, so you don't have to remember. But of course, you can always write this on your calendar because every Friday night at 9 p.m. Central, that is when I go live. And then sometimes in the beginning of the week, I do just a vertical live stream then. But those are kind of hard to predict because I don't know when I'm going to do those. So Mark says a funny prank idea is to get some webcam and stand by the breaker box, flip off the electricity as they walk by. So you want to get on someone's breaker box, someone else's house, and flip off the electricity. I'm not sure I understand the prank other than you're just cutting the power for somebody. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how funny it would be to lose power, especially if that person was using a webcam and they were live streaming. That would be pretty unfortunate. But keep thinking up. You posed the question to us of what a good prank is. I'm going to put the ball back in your court, and now you need to come up with a really funny Halloween prank, Marks, since you're the one that asked all of us. I'm still waiting. I want to know a funny one. Cutting out someone's power, I don't know how funny it is. So anyway, thanks guys for being here. Have an awesome weekend. I really do appreciate you hanging out with me here live as I tried some different things tonight, different background and different formats. Bean Bozzled repacked. Yeah, Bean Bozzled repacked could be good. If you maybe got a bag of like Starburst jelly beans and then you like poured in some Bean Bozzled whatever and didn't tell anybody, that could be funny. Yeah, I think that could be probably a pretty harmless thing. But there you go. That's a candy prank, and I do think a candy prank is relatively harmless as long as nobody has any allergies. or anything like that. All right, excuse me. All right, I've been talking way too much. You guys have a wonderful night. I'll see you next week, maybe before next week if I do a early week live, but we'll see. Have a great one. Thanks, guys.